Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah if you're new here, and this is the start of a new weekend reading vlog. It has been such lovely weather here in Minnesota for spring. It has gotten up to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which is utterly wild to me in the spring, but this weekend it's supposed to be a little gloomy, a little bit more rainy, a little bit more spring normal. I thought this would be the perfect weekend to do a reading vlog since I'm gonna cozy up on the couch for a good chunk of this weekend and do hopefully quite a bit of reading. So I'm gonna talk about what I am in the middle of reading at the moment and what I plan on reading next. I'm not quite sure what I'm in the mood for. Hi, I'm Hannah, I'm a mood reader. Check out my April TBR video if you're interested in learning about all the books I'm hoping to get to in April. The book that I am about 60% into is Paladin's Strength by T. Kingfisher. This is book 2 in the Saints of Steel trilogy, which is a fantasy romance trilogy. So each book is following a different couple, and I believe the overarching plot has to do with a serial killer, magical serial killer type situation. So in book 2 here, we're following Istvan and Clara has a deep dark secret, and she is on the hunt to rescue her sister order of nuns who were captured by bandits. And Istvan's like, I'm gonna help you, and he is on the hunt for that serial killer, but he also decides to help Clara. And I'm really liking this. This is slow burn, and it feels a little slow burn at the moment, but I am still quite enjoying my time reading this one. Maybe not as much as I loved book 1 in this series, but I'm still having a good time. Once I finish that, I want to directly go into the last book of the series, Paladin's Hope, which is a queer romance fantasy, and I'm really excited to get into that. So those are the 2 books kind of on the docket for this vlog, and we'll see what else pops up. But welcome. I have book mail coming today, so hopefully we can open that together just for a bit of fun, and I will take you along for some fun weekend activities. We'll see what I get up to. Here she is. All right, I always struggle with these boxes, so wish me luck. All right. Sneak peek. These are all books I just bought for myself that I wanted to add to my collection. I always go through bookshop.org. All right, so first of all, we've got the Skyward Flight novellas in paperback, as well as Cytonic in paperback by Brandon Sanderson. I do want to continue this series. We have Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes. I thought the sci-fi horror was so fun. I loved this so much, and I really wanted a physical copy. I also got a paperback of Lachlan's, so my Founders trilogy is now complete. This is one of my favorite reads of 2022. Last thing in this package, I have one more thing coming that I'll tell you about, but the last thing in this package is this short little novella called The Companion by E.E. Ottoman, and this is a polyamorous historical romance where all 3 companions, members of the throuple, are trans, and I'm so excited. I've heard this is both tender and emotional and romantic, but also super smutty, and I'm so excited. And I bought this because my library didn't have a copy of this, but I decided to support the author and give this one a chance by buying it without reading it first, which is not typical for me. The other book that is on its way to me is I purchased a copy of A Taste of Golden Iron by Alexander Rowland. This is a new favorite of mine that I'm obsessed with, and I pre-ordered the paperback copy, so that will be coming as well. Yay, unboxing! Now I'm gonna put all these books away. All right, Dead Silence is going with my thriller horror collection. Very small. This is a travesty. Lachlan's is taller than Foundryside at Shorefall. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. And also the spines don't have, the Lachlan spines doesn't have this line detail. So like the spines also don't really match. Book creators and publishers, what are you doing? It's almost as bad as Lost Metal. Look at that. Then I added the companion, Skyward Flight, and Cytonic to my to be read shelf. But I really want to get to this. Maybe I'll sneak it into the vlog. I don't know. We'll see. Look at these coming up. There's more. These are lilies. I don't remember what these are called. Brain fart. It is Saturday, and I did manage to finish Paladin's Strength last night, and this was good. This was nice. This was a cute romance. I think I don't love this one as much as Paladin's Grace, the first book, but it was still a lot of fun, and I enjoyed my time. So I think I'm gonna give it like 4 stars. Like, it was still really good. I still really liked it, but I don't think it's a new favorite. It just didn't have quite as many funny, witty moments as the first one, and it wasn't quite as like tender and romantic, in my opinion. I'm on to book 3 now, and I'm actually pretty far into it. I will say that the overarching plot ends in book 2, so the connections between books 1 and 2 and 3 are just the characters now. So like, we've known these side characters essentially that are now main characters for book 3, and they are solving a completely different murder mystery. So that is kind of what book 3 is about. This is a queer romance, which I'm really excited about. This is about Galen, who is one of the Paladins, and Dr. Piper, who we meet in book 1, and I am really excited to see them get together. So far, they've just been kind of like lusting after each other, but hopefully soon they will have some like tender, quiet moments as well to develop the romance. But so far so good. I'm enjoying it. Hello. It is a couple hours later, and I finished my book, The Paladin's Hope, and I'm giving this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. This was good, but not great for me. I think it's a lot shorter than the first 2 books in the series, and I think the plot and the romance both suffer for it. The plot of this one is kind of a murder mystery, but the solving of the murder is very easy, and they stumble into the answer instead of finding clues to figure out who done it, which is a little disappointing. And then I just thought the romance was a little too fast, and I would have much preferred the slow burn that we had in the first 2 books. I still like them as a couple and like see their chemistry on page, but I just don't think it was developed as well. So overall, I do think Paladin's Grace is still the best of the 3. It goes, you know, Paladin's Grace, Strength, Hope, 1, 2, 3 in terms of my enjoyment, but I still think this was a fun time. I did decide to pick up another book. I don't know if I'll finish it this weekend, but I'm gonna try and pick up Brandon Sanderson's Secret Project number 2. If you don't want spoilers for Brandon Sanderson's Secret Project number 2, see you later. But I'm going to talk about the Frugal Wizard's Handbook to Surviving Medieval England, I believe is the full title of this one. This is Brandon Sanderson's Secret Project. I have this on audio and ebook, and it's narrated by Michael Kramer and Kate Redding again. This is about a man who has amnesia, wakes up, and he's somehow in medieval England, and he has a lot of like weird memories. Like, he has a lot of instincts to like reach for a gun. So he's like, am I a spy? And then he's like, do I have any augmentations? And he's like, wait, how do I know I have augmentations? I have nanites that heal me. How do I know that? So he's like in some kind of sci-fi future, or from a sci-fi future, it seems. And we're trying to figure out who he is and his little adventure in some kind of alternate or historical medieval England. And this was just kind of hitting my mood. I wanted something silly and goofy, and I think this is delivering just by the first couple chapters I've read. Tonight we are actually going to a roller skating night, and I'm really excited about it. If I don't see you for the rest of the night, have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. I know. I love spring in Minnesota. It was 90 degrees 3 days ago. Not even 3 days ago, 2 days ago. This is ridiculous. I've just filmed a video and I look cute, so I wanted to document my makeup. It does go with my sweater because there's purple here. And I had a lot of fun filming. This was a really fun video, so look for that on my channel as well. I also have read about 100 pages of Secret Project number 2 by Brandon Sanderson. Frugal Wizard's Handbook is what I'll say, shorthand. And honestly, the writing is fun. The narration is kind of silly and goofy, but I'm not in love with it. Secret Project number 1 was written in such a way that it was fun in terms of the narration, but also the plot was fun too. And I'm just not charmed by this plot. I will keep reading and let you know how it turns out. Hello everyone, welcome to the end of the vlog. It is Sunday evening and I'm gonna call it a vlog here because I just finished Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England. That is quite the mouthful. And so I'm here to not only wrap up this book, but all of the books I was able to read this weekend. So first things first, I finished Paladin's Strength, book 2 in the Saints of Steel series, and I gave this 4 stars. I really, really liked this one. I thought the plot was a lot of fun and the romance was cute, just not as good as book 1. I then read Paladin's Hope, also by T. Kingfisher, and I gave this one like a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I didn't think the plot was as strong, and I think the romance suffered a little bit because the length was so much shorter. But overall, still enjoyed my time listening. I also just finished Brandon Sanderson's Secret Project number 2, and I'm also giving this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Tetra would like to tell you her star rating as well. Overall, I think this book it was fun, it was quirky, it was kind of silly in its narration style, which is what I was hoping for, but I think the plot overall wasn't that interesting, to be honest. Like what the plot actually ends up being, when you boil it down, wasn't that interesting. The ending was good. It was actually emotionally impactful with the character that we get to know. However, yeah, I just didn't enjoy the plot that much. I thought it was fine. So not my favorite Sanderson book at all. In total, I read about 870 pages this weekend. I had so much fun playing my Legend of Zelda game and going roller skating. I actually rollerbladed personally, but that was so much fun. And I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. I will see you in another video of mine very soon. Bye.